Ethan stood at the edge of the pier, the cold wind from the ocean tugging at his coat and ruffling his hair. He stared out at the horizon where the sky kissed the sea, lost in memories that seemed both distant and fresh. The salt in the air mingled with the salt of his tears, tears that had flowed freely for days now, ever since the letter arrived. 3 years ago, life had been different. Ethan had been a young architect with dreams of building skyscrapers that touched the clouds. His life was structured, organized, and he prided himself on his meticulous attention to detail. But one serendipitous evening changed everything. It was at a gallery opening. He had been dragged there by his colleague, Jane, who insisted he needed to live a little. Ethan wasn't fond of modern art, but the moment he stepped into the gallery, he felt an inexplicable pull. And then he saw her. Lila was standing in front of a large canvas, her head tilted slightly to one side, lost in thought. Her auburn hair cascaded over her shoulders in soft waves, and her emerald green eyes sparkled with an inner light. She was the epitome of grace and beauty, an artist whose soul poured into every stroke of her brush. Ethan watched her from a distance, afraid to disturb her reverie. But as if sensing his gaze, she turned and their eyes met. There was a moment of recognition, a silent understanding that passed between them. Lila smiled, and Ethan felt his heart skip a beat. Do you like it? She asked, gesturing to the painting. It's beautiful, he replied, though he hadn't really looked at the painting. He was captivated by her. They talked for hours that night, about art, architecture, dreams, and fears. Lila was a free spirit, living each day with passion and spontaneity, the complete opposite of Ethan. Yet, something clicked between them. Their worlds, so different, began to intertwine. The next few months were a whirlwind of color and emotion. Lila introduced Ethan to a life he had never known, filled with impromptu road trips, late-night picnics under the stars, and mornings spent painting in her sunlit studio. Ethan, in turn, grounded Lila, helping her navigate the practicalities of life that she often overlooked. They were in love, deeply and irrevocably. Their differences only brought them closer, each filling the void in the other's life. Ethan marveled at Lila's ability to find beauty in the mundane, while she admired his dedication and determination. But life is seldom kind to those who love too deeply. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. Ethan got the opportunity of a lifetime, a project to design a landmark building in New York. It was everything he had ever dreamed of, a chance to leave his mark on the world. But it meant leaving behind the life he had built with Lila. When he told her about the offer, her eyes clouded with a mixture of pride and sorrow. I'm so happy for you, Ethan, she said, her voice trembling. But what about us? We'll make it work, he assured her, though he wasn't sure how. I can fly back every weekend. We can talk every day. It'll be tough, but we can do it. Lila nodded, but Ethan could see the doubt in her eyes. She was an artist, bound to her studio and her inspirations, unable to simply pack up and leave. They both knew that their worlds were about to be torn apart. The first few weeks were bearable. Ethan threw himself into his work, the excitement of the project keeping his homesickness at bay. They talked every night, their conversations filled with love and longing. But as the weeks turned into months, the distance began to take its toll. Ethan's visits became less frequent. The time difference made it harder to connect. Lila's calls became sporadic, her voice more strained with each conversation. She was struggling, trying to find her place in a world without him by her side. One evening, After a particularly grueling day, Ethan returned to his apartment to find a letter waiting for him. The familiar handwriting sent a shiver down his spine. Dear Ethan, I hope this letter finds you well. I've been thinking a lot about us, about our dreams and the life we wanted to build together. It's been so hard without you here, and I can feel myself slipping away, losing the part of me that you brought to life. I love you, Ethan. I always will. But I can't keep pretending that this distance isn't tearing us apart. I can't keep holding on to something that only brings me pain. You deserve to chase your dreams without the weight of my sadness holding you back. I've decided to let you go, to set both of us free. I hope you understand. I hope you find happiness and success, and that one day, you'll look back on our time together with fondness and not regret. Thank you for loving me, for showing me a world I never knew existed. You'll always have a place in my heart. Yours forever, Lila. Ethan's world crumbled. The words blurred through his tears, each sentence a dagger to his heart. He read the letter over and over, hoping to find some hidden meaning, some clue that she didn't really mean it. But the truth was clear. Lila was gone. The days that followed were a blur. Ethan moved through his life like a ghost, going through the motions but feeling nothing. The project that once filled him with excitement now felt hollow, every accomplishment a reminder of what he had lost. A year passed, then two. Ethan became a renowned architect, his designs celebrated and admired. But success felt empty without Lila. He tried to move on, dated other women, but no one could fill the void she had left. His heart remained tethered to the past, to the memories of a love that had burned so brightly. One day, while sorting through old boxes, Ethan found a sketchbook Lila had given him. It was filled with her drawings, moments they had shared, places they had visited. Each page was a testament to their love, a love that had left an indelible mark on his soul. Flipping through the sketchbook, he found a note tucked between the pages. Dear Ethan, if you're reading this, it means you've found the courage to face the past. I'm so proud of you. Life is a journey, and sometimes we lose our way. But it's in those moments of darkness that we find our true strength. I want you to know that our time together was the happiest of my life. You brought me so much joy, and I'll always cherish the memories we made. I hope you've found your passion, your purpose. And I hope you've found love again. You deserve to be happy, to be loved. Don't let the pain of yesterday hold you back from the beauty of tomorrow. I'll always be with you, in every skyscraper you build, in every sunset you watch. Yours always, Lila. Ethan clutched the note to his chest, tears streaming down his face. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of peace. Lila's words were a balm to his wounded heart, a reminder that love, even lost, can still be a source of strength. He stood at the edge of the pier, the cold wind whipping around him. But this time, the horizon didn't seem so bleak. He could see a future where he carried Lila's memory with him, not as a burden, but as a beacon. Ethan took a deep breath, the salty air filling his lungs. He closed his eyes and whispered a silent goodbye to the past, to the woman who had changed his life. And as he opened his eyes, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. With renewed determination, he turned away from the ocean and walked back towards the city, ready to embrace whatever tomorrow might bring. The love he had lost would always be a part of him, but it was time to live again, to find new dreams and new joys. In the end, it was Lila's love that set him free, a love that transcended time and distance, a love that would forever whisper in the wind, reminding him that he was never truly alone.